Welcome to Make a Difference with Phil Martelli. He is Phil Martelli. I am Jared Phillips. Obviously, with the college hoop season behind us, the news does not stop in the college basketball world and really in the world in general. A lot that has happened here in the past week that you wanted to touch on first and foremost.
Yeah, and this is an exciting time for Make a Difference because that's what we're going to do with this next series. I'm delighted with what we did during the winter to highlight coaches and basketball and all of the tentacles that go off of just the games itself. But really, as you pay attention to the world and the passing of Pope Francis, and no matter what your beliefs are, when you saw him, you saw a man of peace. I think everybody out there, most, have seen the conclave. And so the intrigue now that comes with the selection and how they go about and the politics behind the scene. The other thing is the instant sharing of news. You pick up your phone and he took his last breath, and then it was worldwide news. And you have people from the Vatican already reporting. And I was amazed to see that they're gambling odds on who could be the successor. But focus on the man himself. He gave more to others than he ever took, carried his own luggage, did a lot of things that just a ordinary saint does. And he was the first Jesuit. And up until him, Jesuits were known for basketball. So I wonder if he was a hoops fan, probably was, and what was his team. The highlight of his Philadelphia visit, having the opportunity, just to make it personal for a second, having an opportunity to be in an inner circle at his mass with, I don't know, maybe 1,000 people. And somebody came over and said, "Hey, would you like to meet the new 76er?" And it was Joel Embiid. And then walking the streets and seeing the joy that one man could bring. Rest in peace. And, you know, they always say that job well done. He certainly gets a salute as a job well done. At the same time, on a personal note, a dear, dear friend, Joe Oakes, passed away on Good Friday. Family man. Remarkable, remarkable family man. Grew up in Narberth. His father was a mighty might. So those of you out there that believe you know the history, particularly of St. Joseph's basketball, check out the Mighty Mites. And Joe Oakes' father was on that team. When he left the college at that time, he became the basketball coach at St. Joseph's Prep. And why was Joe Oakes special to me? Because when you're an assistant coach, oftentimes people come and go and they blow by you. They assume that you're transient. So they're not really going to invest. Joe Oakes came to Judy and I and asked to manage our money. And we had exactly the same amount of money then as I do right now in my pocket. We had nothing. But yet he stayed our friend. He helped us manage the little bits of money that we had. And then when we came into money, he was the guy that we trusted the most. A special guy. He's gone, but he is one that will never be forgotten. Rest in peace, Joe Oakes.
I mean, a special tribute to a dear friend, and of course, rest in peace to Pope Francis as well. We have, I mean, two people that I would say made a difference on a worldwide scale,
yes,
and a very personal scale
yes,
for you. And
exactly,
we have somebody coming up today that I think is making a difference in a community scale. Who is somebody very, very special. I can't wait to kind of introduce to our audience and make them aware of the work that he's doing.
We're almost tempted to make the Martelli Minute a Martelli Second to get to our special guest, but we're not going to change because Status Solutions Network is committed to making a difference by providing Alicia Law compliant safety technology to schools through a grant of use, ensuring that financial barriers never stand between students and proper safety. Each community has the power to create real change. Learn more at statussolutions.com, statussolutions.com. And think about the connections with our guest and community safety. Status Solutions concentrate on schools. Our guest concentrates on communities. Kind of fits together. So your Martelli Minute. You will always regret most the chances you don't take, the opportunities you choose not to seek. There'll always be a regret if you didn't at least try. Self-confidence is refusing to take yourself out of trying something challenging. That's a self-confidence. I can try this. Sometimes we're self-defeated going into a challenge. Self-confidence allows you to take those chances. Be a connector, not a divider. That will come back again with our guest. Be a connector, not a divider. Utilize your time, your talent, and your treasures to serve others, not to serve yourself. Do for others. That will make you a better you. An opportunity will knock. Are you ready? Stay ready so you never have to get ready. That slight delay while you're getting ready when you needed to stay ready will cost you. The Martelli Minute by Status Solutions.
Every morning, 6:30 a.m.
Every
on
morning.
Instagram.
Every morning.
At Phil_Martelli. And with that, you mentioned being a connector.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a connector on the show, I think.
You know what else we have? We have a hero. And everybody right away will say, and Garry will do the same. I'm not a hero. No, you are. Ordinary people doing extraordinary work for others on a daily basis. Can there be a better description? There can't be. The Make a Difference guest segment has been a highlight all the way through our podcast. And we want to spotlight the everyday heroes who are in our communities making a difference. So it was wonderful to talk hoops during the winter. And here we are able to blend Make a Difference and hoops and community. This is why we said yes to Make a Difference. This guest epitomizes what we want to be about. Today's guest is using the ball, using the game to empower communities. Think about that. Not words, not a bunch of talk, but action with that ball and with this game to empower and better communities. Shoot Basketballs, Not People is not a website. It's not a saying. It's a movement. And it's a movement that Make a Difference is asking all of you to get behind. We have a great leader. We have a hero who's at the front. Garry Mills is a tsunami, man. He's a tsunami. Get on that website and check it out. Eagles fan of the game. Sixers assist for safer communities. Leadership grant from Duke Divinity. Mothers in Charge. Roots Picnic honoree. Wharton. You know what? I was mistaken in saying Garry Mills is a hero. Garry Mills is a superhero, and he's here because he's making a difference. Garry, welcome to our podcast.
Man, thank you, Jared. Thank you, Coach Phil, for those kind words, man. And I just wanted to let your audience know that I'm super excited to be here with you guys, especially highlighting the work that we've been doing for the last 13 some odd years, primarily in the upper Northwest, Germantown, Nicetown area.
Beautiful. So, Garry, how did you get here? How did you get to Shoot Basketballs, Not People?
Well, my first incident with gun violence, Coach, was 14, Martin Luther King, lost my friend to gun violence. He was gunned down in front of Martin Luther King at the age of 14, who was a teammate of mine for the Oak Lane Wildcats, Donald McNeil, rest his soul, and my condolences still go out to his family. And then, I kind of had to battle with that growing up. As you already know, with inner city, we battled with that growing up. And then coming out of college, we had a lot of like gang warring and beef going on in like the Worcester playground area at the time. So I got with a group of guys and said, hey, I just want to throw a basketball game with the top street ball guys. Some of the guys that Stephen Jackson, Deontay Christmas, some of those guys were actually playing in that game. And we just did the game, made it feel like the Rucker outside. And I think it's about 250 to 300 people showed up. And then that's when it kind of like started spiraling. So I did a program just at the Linfest Center for Inner City Kids to have an outlet to just come play basketball. And then it kind of spiraled into a 501c3 to what it is now.
Garry, here you go. I'm flipping you the ball.
Yeah.
How can that ball make these necessary changes? How is that being possible for you?
I mean, it changed my life. It changed my life, and it changed the children that I had in my program from the previous years up to now. Just kind of a quick backstory on current kids that we have. We have 3 young men at Morehouse. One is a pre-med, one is sociology, and one is a finance major.
Say it again, Garry. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
We have 3 African-American men currently at Morehouse. One majors in sociology, pre-med, and finance, and together combined, their GPA is a 3.7. One of the young men, his name is Amir Staten, excuse me. There was a video that went viral of a kid running down the street because he got accepted to Morehouse. And at the time, he didn't have enough capital for everyday things at Morehouse because he didn't get a full ride. So we took him on the Fox Morning Show with Mike Jarrett, and he was able to raise over $20,000, and Kyrie Irving was actually one of the donors. And then we later got a call back that Morehouse offered him a free ride. So that's just kind of like one of the stories that we have over so many years, but that one is most recent that I'm proud of.
Wow. So earlier, the Martelli Minute was to be a connector, not a divider. SBNP is a connector, not a divider. But I know this. On whose shoulders are you standing, Garry? Who's with you connecting and giving those kids the chance to make a difference in their lives?
I think for starters, none of this work would be possible, number one, without God. But more importantly, my grandfather, God rest his soul, Frederick Kallman, was the president of Concerned Black Men back in the day. And he was the reason why I do this work as well, because of him, he was taking inner city kids to like HBCU college tours. He was doing chess tours. And then currently the team that stands with me, Dennis Davis, who's our yoga and mindfulness director, Siobhan Munir, who does all of our kinesiology work, John Huggins, who's an ex-alum at Roman Catholic along those days with Eddie Griffin. We have Dom Davenport, who's currently an assistant coach at Lansdale Catholic. And we have Eric Hennigan, who's doing amazing work with the autism community as well. So, and my team, Erica Walker, amazing person. She's the one that kind of like puts the battery in our back and gets us going from a support standpoint. So I don't do this work alone.
Who in the community are your connectors? Who's lifting you up? Your team. Mm-hmm. Your team. Where's that outside group?
So the partnerships with the Philadelphia Eagles, the Sixers, the city of Philadelphia. There's an organization called Small Ball United where we do like kind of an international AAU feel. They've been super instrumental in this. The Souls Foundation, who we partnered with several times, and they're one of our actually top partners, where we give away footwear and socks to like foreign countries or the inner city communities. We partnered with them on a back to school drive that they were able to give 300 children school supplies and book bags. And our goal this year with this partnership is to give 500 book bags
Mm.
and school supplies to the Kensington community as well as the Wilmington, Delaware community. So shout out to the founder, Millie Vasquez, who's instrumental in everything we do when it comes to like the Hispanic community, because we don't want that, like you said, we don't want a division between Blacks and Hispanics doing this work either. So this is our way of like giving back to both sides of the community.
The vision. You told us where you started.
Yep.
And I do see you as a visionary here. Tell me where we'll be a year from now.
Our goal, we have a huge macro goal that we want to achieve. We want to get a facility. And the reason for that being, Phil, is we see sometimes there could be a lack of programming in some of the Philadelphia rec centers. It's not as active as it used to be. The PAL centers are not as active as they used to be. And our children just don't have nowhere to go at this point. And we can tell through some of the activity that the young people are suggesting to go into, which we don't agree with. So the only way that we fix that is we bring these babies back inside. But we took a different approach outside of basketball too, Coach. We added a mindfulness piece to it. And our curriculum is structured around a book called The Ancient Generation. It's kind of the negative impacts of social media and the cell phone. And we built out something called the story flow with our yoga director. So when the kids get on the mat during meditation, we basically take the curriculum that we built out from this book and we help them with mindfulness practices. And we know that our kids are suffering from PTSD, depression, anxiety, because of gun violence and the social media piece. And we knew that to complete the holistic basketball player, it had to be more than just basketball. It had to be the mindfulness component, which was the most important for me, and then the kinesiology part, so these young men can actually learn about their bodies, learn why ACL, MCL tears are important. And we developed a kinesiology program around the most common basketball injuries. So now the kids can get better with that at a younger age, and they know exactly, and they're being educated exactly why their injuries happened.
Wow. A lot of honors, a lot of awards. And I'm going to say this, they pale in comparison to the lives that you're saving and you're impacting. Has there been a moment for you, Garry, that crystallizes that idea? Yeah, awards are nice, and what happened is nice, but there's a life out there. There's an impact that you went home that night, and you probably didn't sleep. I'm sure you have a lot of sleepless nights, like a lot of people in our communities. But what was that moment for you that said, I'm on the right path? I'm not at the finish line, but I'm on the right path.
So many, but I'm going to be honest. The kid Amir from Morehouse, man, single parent mother. You know what I mean? Just to see the joy on this kid's face going to college and being able to, and I actually teared up during that moment that I actually seen Morehouse call him back, because I knew how important that was for his mom to get out the inner city and, spread his wings and be at a prestigious HBCU like Morehouse. And for him to be excelling and now a Bonner Scholar and now also an intern for Senator Haywood. You can't rewrite stuff like that. I tell people all the time, like, no money or grant can substitute for the impact that I make on these young people, especially my young Black men who now currently are like, public enemy number one indirectly, you know what I mean? Because of what we're going through in our inner city, the gun violence, Black on Black crime, which we don't normally address, what needs to be addressed. But for me to have kids that escape and get out of here and me still be in the inner city doing the work and kind of not want to be in those executives or coaches that leave and don't come back. You know what I mean? Like, they can see me, they can touch me, they can feel me, they can talk to me. Like, and I feel like that's important if we're talking about community engagement and impact.
Garry, you mentioned all of these organizations that have really been instrumental in kind of supporting your cause and supporting your movement over the years. You mentioned the Eagles, the Sixers, all these grants, these various organizations that have been able to kind of make this dream, make this mission a reality. It's incredible. But how can everyday folks that are just looking to make an impact in their community to try and stop gun violence, to limit gun violence, how can they help you and really help this cause?
I mean, I think it comes down to something that Coach said, which is connecting with each other, collaboration. I mean, everybody in this youth basketball space are divided. And I think if we start to figure out ways to collaborate and do and use each other's strengths to make the market better than what it is, and the youth basketball space, I think that's where it starts, is collaborative and lowering the ego for all of us. I mean, because everybody comes with an ego, but if we all come to the table and lower our egos as leaders and say, okay, what's the bigger picture? Is the bigger picture your brand getting this or your brand getting that, or is the bigger picture helping, that next young man or that next young lady to excel in whatever they want in life? So the way it starts was collaboration, and the next they can, go on our site, of course, join SBNP.org and get familiar of the work that we're doing. And if they want to be included in work outside of Philadelphia, then, we're open to that as well.
And it's something to jump in there on is this idea. Garry mentioned one of the all-time greats in Philadelphia, who, because of any number of issues, had an early demise. But Eddie Griffin was one of the greatest players in the history of Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
Garry has highlighted Amir, right? The future doctor. And that's what we want to remember. We want to remember that these programs, yes, Deontay Christmas, spectacular. He once dressed out for the 76ers and all those kind of things. But Garry has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of young people who are hoping to play in high school. Maybe a few that will play in college. And only a select ones will go on to play.
Yep.
We want to make a difference. This is an unbelievable bridge from the basketball world that we were in during the winter to now community engagement. Everybody out there with Make a Difference. You're with us, then you're with us with Garry. We're with Garry. So again, SBNP, they're truly making a difference. And Garry, we are absolutely, we've got you. We got your back. And I know that the people that are our listeners and our followers and people are going to come. We want to lift up Amir. And then we want to lift them up again and again and again, because you know where he is. His main name is not Amir, but you know where our help can make a difference. Thank you for leading, and thank you for being a community hero. And we always finish this segment, Garry, with this. Who's made a difference in your life?
Honestly, there's two people outside of my family, immediate family members, but of course, my grandfather, who I started this work because of, and then also my 14 and under coach, Coach Eric Mundy from the West Oak Lane Wildcats. What it meant to work hard, what it meant to be a teammate, what it meant to creating a winning culture and putting in work as 14. I mean, Phil, Jared, as well. Like back in the day, kids didn't have a problem practicing 8 o'clock in the morning, Simon's playground, basically running to the bottom of your sneakers is burning. So,
yes,
you know what I mean? Like that's the era that I come from. I graduated in 01. So even shout out to those guys in that 01 class, the Jamal Nichols of the world, the Maurice Rices of the world, the David Bones Bells of the world. Like these are the guys that made me who I am even on the floor. So that way I can come back and instill that in our young people and keep that Philadelphia tradition alive. So shout out to those guys as well.
Garry, one of the great days in the future of our basketball city would be if we could get to a point where we would gather all these young players from the suburbs, black, white, South Jersey, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let's get them back on a playground, playing outdoors. Then they're going to learn if they can shoot, right, Gary? If you can shoot outdoors, you can shoot, my man.
Them double rims, man. We know if you can really shoot with them double rims, man.
There you go. There you go.
Garry, just want to really reiterate, with our viewers as well here, and the talks we've had leading into you coming on to this show, the thing that we're really excited about is kind of a continued partnership with you and with Make a Difference. Just want to kind of clue our listeners, our viewers in on this. Shoot Basketball's Not People will partner with Make a Difference, our podcast, here for the next 6 weeks as we try and promote Garry's message, Garry's mission, and his goals. And we encourage anyone listening, anybody watching, please head to joinsbnp.org. You can donate, you can become an ambassador, you can become a partner with your organization that you operate with. There's so many opportunities to get involved with Garry and his mission and his goal. And that is kind of what we plan and hope to do. Every guest that we have on here over the next 6 weeks, this opportunity will be in partnership with Garry, with Shoot Basketball's Not People. And we hope that can encourage our listeners, our viewers, and everybody in the Philadelphia community to continue to help push that mission. Garry, I just want to thank you for coming on, and if there's anything else you want to say I think you pretty much nailed it here in about 15 minutes, but man, if there's anything else that you wanted to say to kind of reiterate just how much of a difference and how much you can help people in this community, we would love to hear it, man.
I mean, my thing is go back to our tagline, less excuses, more adjustments. I think we've seen a wave of basketball come through Philadelphia at its high, and then now I feel like it's at its lows because of the type of talent we're producing, as opposed to the years when Phil was at St. Joe's. The talent pool was massive, and now with the transfer portal and these young people having to have different options, this is where, organizations like mine step in and offer, careers outside of being a basketball player, because of the statistics are like bare minimum when it comes to kids making the NBA, especially from Philadelphia. So we want to give kids options. We want to give them, you can still be in the NBA without being in the NBA, if that makes sense. So whether you want to be an analyst, sports management, have a podcast, whatever that looks like, we want to encourage young people to stay around the sport, even if they're not playing. So that's what we're here to do, man. There's less excuses, more adjustments.
Well, I'm going to finish with this. Garry, we are in, but to everybody out there, we need your help. Again, they can go to
joinsbnp.org.
And it'll be on all of our social media posts. And this is going to be a really big deal. And I have to have one pledge from you. When we get that game together and we're on those outdoor courts, I get to throw up the first ball. I'm not refereeing, Garry. I was never good at refereeing. But I'll be good at talking during that game. I could be the MC on the mic.
The Phil Martelli Classic if you want to. Man.
There we go.
We can make a whole thing out of it, man. I love to get back on the playground, man.
Garry, thank you. Made our day. Made our day.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man.
There it is. Why do the podcast? Not for coaching and yucking it up. If one person out there reaches out to SBNP, that's making a difference.
Oh, absolutely, man. There it is at the bottom of the screen for you. Join SBNP.org. Head on over to Shoot Basketball's Not People's website, because I'm telling you right now, I mean, that, like, when we had this plan, when we had this idea, stumbled upon Garry's mission, his goal, and I'm like, this is exactly what we had hoped, and what our goal and our idea for this show was how can we make a difference?
Community heroes.
And that is this is Exhibit A.
Yep, community heroes.
So again, we will really excited to kind of announce this partnership with Shoot Basketball's Not People over the next 6 weeks. You will see their logo. You will see us pushing their message out on social media. Our goal and our hope is to really promote their message, highlight and spotlight Garry. I mean, he's done a fantastic job over the past decade plus with the work he's done there. So we're just hoping to kind of be a small part of that to continue amplifying that.
And then to bring it full circle, a Martelli Minute today was utilize your time, your talent, your treasures to serve others. There it is. So some piece of your time or your talent or your treasures. They're doing remarkable community work. Let's lift them up. Everybody out there, let's make a difference. That was a good one.
That was a great one.
Yeah.
Really, really excited to continue that partnership with Garry. A great guy, a great hooper back in his day.
Yeah.
We didn't touch on it too much, but
I know he didn't take us on his journey.
No, I mean he jumped right into what he's doing now. He's in the here and
thing.
now and the work he's doing now. But
yeah, the here and the now. We should have asked him, where were you?
I think that's
where was I?
Well, I think we got to get there though, because even though the basketball season might be pretty much wrapped up, Phil Martelli's schedule is probably booked through what next basketball season. Maybe
we're doing all right. We're doing all right. We could use a little bit more. And anybody out there that has a thought, an idea, got a call yesterday from a Catholic school, a state championship Catholic school, wondering if I would come to their banquet. That's absolutely. But I'm going there to make a difference, not to check a box. So here, where was I? Rotary Club of Delaware County. I got to go to Charlotte's restaurant. Invitation from Rick Flounders. Rick Flounders is from Lansdowne, a couple years older than me. He was in St. Philomena's when I was coming in. Probably he was at Bonner at that time. Flounders, a great Lansdowne family. Rick invited me to the Delaware County chapter of the Rotary Club. Got a chance to share with them a couple of great stories. The next day, had lunch with anybody out there. Remember the infamous or famous, whichever way you want to put it, Dirty 30. Kenny from the Dirty 30 invited me to lunch with Angelo Cataldi, Dr. John Scanlon, and athletic director at Salem County Community College, Bob Hughes. Now, those of you that are close and know the name Bob Hughes, I don't know how that's possible, because from the day that I met him, his name was Barney. Every time he meets somebody, he introduces himself as Coach Barney. Did a great job at Rosemont. Now's the athletic director. Barney is a dead ringer for Barney Rubble. Thus, the nickname. It's appropriate, believe me. Check his picture out and tell me that I'm not right on that one. Then did a podcast that night with the Florida Coaches Association, Joe Willis. Fascinating. We covered some X's and O's, but we covered a lot more about dealing with the transfer portal in high school. The idea that Florida may now allow NIL dollars in high school. We spent a lot of time talking about this, and you're an example of it. What happened to those guys that want to play with their buddies that they grew up with or playing against and play for the local high school? Why are we jumping around? Does it fit some? Sure, it fits some to leave their area and play on super teams. But everybody else, that experience of playing high school basketball. So we shared with the Florida coaches. Good Friday, a police graduation. Northwestern Center of Public Safety gave a higher degree to 33 law enforcement administrators. I was the speaker. Now, there were a couple things about that. One, I asked the scheduling here. It had to be Good Friday. That was one. Two, that I was leaving to head to Avalon, and maybe I was going to be proceeding at a pace faster than is posted. So I needed a card.
You're admitting this on the air?
Just in case. Got to spend time with lots of family. And I have to give a shout out to Pat Jeffries. He ran an Easter egg hunt in Avalon, the likes of which I've never seen. that was on top of the day before when Avalon Borough puts out, I'm going to guess 5,000 pieces of candy, and they run all over the fields, and the kids are searching for a golden egg, and it was quite relaxing, quite relaxing. Came back and got to speak with the Penn State Brandywine golf team as they prepare for their conference championships this week. So relaxing, but no spring break or no Easter vacation. We wanted to keep.
You didn't
going.
sneak off to Cancun or anything for spring break.
I was not thinking about that, and now it's time to look ahead.
Well, how many? Before we look ahead, I mean, I'm just wondering, how many Easter eggs were you? You know, how many did you get in your basket? I mean, were you
none?
You were just hanging back. No. I would have gotten involved if there was candy in there. I was getting involved.
Oh, there was a lot of candy, and there were, the dividing. I've never seen candy divided like that on the fields in Avalon, except at Halloween. You would come home, like you with your brothers would come home and say, "Well, I'm good for Reese's. What are you good for?" And then everybody ended up with like a couple hundred packets of their own. Like, what about variety?
Oh man, I'll eat it all. Yeah, I'm not picky. I'm not picky. So,
all right. So it was really, really relaxing for sure. Then to get ready. Now I had to get ready. Great podcast guest today. I had to be prepared. Did a podcast for Coaches versus Cancer late last night with a young man in Chicago who, for every guest that he gets, donates $100 to Coaches versus Cancer. High school kid. Really, really special. Now today, as we go forward this week, chance to sit down with a great writer, Michael Bradley, who's doing an article for Philadelphia Magazine on the collegiate sport landscape in Philadelphia. I'll be participating in a Coaches versus Cancer call with Fran Dunphy. That's in the coming days. Big deal. Former guest, Aaron Bracey, who is out there, A Soaring Season. Remember that book, A Soaring Season. Get that book, A Soaring Season. I'll be appearing with him at Chicky and Pete's in South Philly tomorrow night. And will be a little bit of Q&A, a little bit of talk about the book, and excited. And I check Aaron. He's out everywhere. He's just doing a terrific job promoting this wonderful book.
For our listeners, tomorrow night means Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. I'm sorry. Yes.
Just so they know, depending on when they're listening to this. But yeah, Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
Got it. I have a good buddy that just finished the book, and he'll just shoot me a text, and he's cracking me. He grew up like a diehard St. Joe's fan, and he will just text me like, thinking about Ahmad Nivens, just like thinking about Lamar Kimball. He's just like the book was. I mean, another rave review where he was just like, man, this team was so incredible. Like he'll just text me, just unprompted, think about Chet Stakaitis, just because he's like, these teams were so much fun, and that book really just takes you into it. I know we had Aaron on, and it's just what an unbelievable read. Really.
There we go. Then Thursday morning, Bucks County Intermediate Unit has asked me to come present to them. So I'll be driving to Doylestown to present to them Thursday morning. On my way back, and this guy is another superstar. Like, it's not even a superstar is light to describe Don DeGioia. Don DeGioia is hosting a luncheon. I want to stop by there. Friday, a Zoom call with Ned Miller and the Chester East Side Initiative. Fascinating work in an area near and dear to us, me in particular because of Widener Connections, Chester East Side Initiative. And then Friday night, Mac Ryan, Overbrook Club champ for golf. Mac Ryan, graduate of St. Joseph's Preparatory School for Young Men and Elon, where he ran their JV basketball program. Before there were general managers, Mac was a general manager. He's marrying Sinead Egan at their wedding in Phoenixville. Really excited. If anybody out there has ever been to a wedding with the Ryan family, I'm talking the Smokey Joe Ryan family, then you know. It starts Friday night. It will end sometime Sunday afternoon. No one has more fun than the Ryan family. So congratulations to Mac, beautiful young guy. Sinead is a Philadelphia Philly lunatic. I'm surprised I met another one, but I did meet her, Sinead. And they asked me to announce, since it's Friday night, Phillies City Connect jerseys will be worn in lieu of tuxedos. It was black tie optional or Philly City Connect jerseys. And I'm here to announce that. I'm announcing it.
No way.
They're not really,
we got to see this.
They're not that happy about me announcing it, but Mac and Sinead, congratulations. Beautiful young people, and can't wait to see everybody in action on Friday night. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful occasion.
Wow, congrats.
But then Saturday
gets even.
Celebration of life for your great aunt, Aunt Lorraine. Her celebration of life will be in Marlton, New Jersey. I'm going to go over to that. The area I grew up in, Lansdowne, they've gathered all of their crew together. And this is the third year of Lansdowne versus Cancer. I'm going to make an appearance there. Saturday night, the gala for Coaches versus Cancer, honoring Vince Curran, terrific player at St. Joe's Prep and University of Pennsylvania. And he's done Penn Radio for a long time. And his wife, Kelly, who has not beaten cancer, but crushed cancer over the last year. They're being honored at the gala, black tie gala. And then I can't announce, so I'm not going to give you a number. But I'll give you a range of numbers. Somewhere between 49 and 51, Judy Martelli will be celebrating her college graduation with her reunions, but somewhere in between those numbers. I'm not giving the specific number, but it's in that range.
Okay.
And she'll be at that. And then for us, Saturday morning, this is another biggie. Go ahead, lay it on them. Where are we going to be Saturday morning?
Saturday morning, the podcast will be hitting the road once again. We will be at the Coaches versus Cancer Baseball Fest. That is the Philly Public League hosting a day-long tournament down in South Philly at the Phillies complex to fight and crush cancer. Hosted and started by friend of the show, Juan Namnoon, who is, arguably the most unbelievable story we've had on this podcast. The Frankfurt High baseball coach who fought and beat male breast cancer. A wonderful, wonderful guy, an interpreter for the Phillies. If you have not seen or heard that episode, go back to the catalog, check that one out. He puts on a terrific day-long baseball fest for the Philly Public League schools down in South Philly, and we will be there for the podcast. We're going to talk to Juan. We're going to chop it up a little bit, and there's a rumor that there might be some Phillies legends in the house that we're going to get a chance to speak to as well.
Yeah, hopefully some bullpen help. That's not this show. I was supposed to call WIP with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's well, we might take callers at some point this summer.
There
We'll
we
see. We'll see. You know, we'll see how I guess slow we get here in the summer with no hoops. But I know you're just gonna want to talk baseball for hours on end. So we'll get you. Maybe we'll get you an afternoon slot on WIP.
How's that possible? Guy hits a 3-run bomb, 5-4. You're in the hunt. Trey Turner and Harper strike out. And didn't swing at a strike.
They were chasing like lunatics.
They didn't swing at a strike. Don't start me.
I mean, you couldn't have asked for like. Listen, yeah, I'm with you. It's not the time yet. It's April. It's April.
We'll stay calm.
Let's relax.
All right.
Let's relax. But again,
we got to get ready.
Yeah.
Saturday is action packed, and we're out there crushing cancer, and we're processing. Can't let anybody forget Garry Mills' message. Get on SBNP, and make a difference. We're going to do just that. We're going to make a huge difference using that basketball.
That is the plan. That is the goal. So this coming Saturday, the Coaches vs. Cancer Baseball Fest, we will be there. Should be a lot of fun. That episode coming out next week. This episode, pretty much in the books. Garrett was unbelievable. I mean, talk about a community superhero. Like I said, if you were looking to get involved with Join SBNP, that is joinsbnp.org. That is where you can be an ambassador, you can be a partner, you can donate anything you want or can do to help our communities combat gun violence with hoops. I mean, there's really no better concept or idea that we could think of on this show, personally. And like I said, next week, Coaches vs. Cancer Baseball Fest, that is going to be a blast. If you're looking to get in touch with Phil here to help him make a difference, head on over to pnjmakeadifference.com. That is where you can tell Phil your story and help him make a difference on the court, off the court, on the or in the workplace or in the classroom. We are at Make a Difference Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, at Make a Diff Pod on X, Make a Difference with Phil Martelli on Facebook. And if you are watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you are listening on Spotify or Apple, go ahead and give us a 5-star rating. And if you love that Martelli Minute, go ahead and give Phil_Martelli a follow on Instagram. Every single day, 6:30 a.m. is where you will see the Martelli Minute. In the meantime, maybe we see some bullpen help at this baseball fest this weekend. That might be a few years away, but
Saturday will be that will be Nola's next start, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, every 5th day. So maybe he could get a win, 0-5, but we're not going to talk about it right now.
Let's get basketball fully in the review, and then we'll shift to baseball. But we're rounding the corner. We're running first, if you will.
There we go.